Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss a video from testbook.com.
Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you. Welcome to testbook.com. As you can see on the board, today's topic of interest is going to be varying from different topics, guys. We are going to make this session whole lot of the practice exercises pertaining to your examination which is going to come up, right? So we have already Jay, Subhashish and Deep here in our session. Very good morning to all of you guys. I believe all of you are doing well and be ready for the questions for today, as we are going to actually incorporate the rules which we have already seen in our previous sessions. That was more pertaining towards grammar. We saw some of the topics in some of the questions in closed test, as well as one RC, and then 2 or 3 sets of para jumbles as well, guys. So I hope this would have given you a brief thing, or let's say it has already helped you in brushing up the concepts to go forward in order to ace those topics, guys. So this session is going to be purely based on or focusing on the questions, guys. So I believe all of you would be ready with your pen and paper in hand, and we can start our session as soon as possible, as a lot of people would be looking forward for this session, guys. So as you can see, the topic goes in miscellaneous. That means the questions nature today which you are going to come across is mostly varying from error spotting, phrase replacement, as well as the phrasal verbs, guys, and maybe you will be asked to apply some of the concepts of vocabulary as well. Because if we talk in terms of English as a language, that means directly or indirectly you have to make use of a vocabulary in order to first of all comprehend the question very well, and secondly land up at the right option which can be the probable answer for you guys, right? So without any delay, I would like the first question to be there on your screen, guys. Read the directions very carefully and then only go and attempt the question. The question is in the format of error spotting. Don't get confused with that. This is not error spotting. That's why you need to read the direction first, guys. Do not hover on to the question. This is a variant from para jumble, you can say. You need to select the odd one sentence out of this question, guys. Find the sentence that is not relating to the main theme and join the rest to form a coherent passage. That means the sentences which is given you, they are going to make a coherent paragraph, but one out of them doesn't belong to the theme on which the rest sentences are concerning about. So you need to find out that odd one out sentence. The question it reads out in this way: we do not know if it was a good decision to ban it. First sentence is talking about banning something. Second goes with China does not allow its citizen to freely access the internet. That means we know the sentence is going towards the scenario of China. People should voice their concerns at times. Then government there feels it used to spread a negative propaganda and causes people to lose faith in the administration, guys. So there must be one odd sentence out of it, and rest would be framing a coherent paragraph, right? So that coherent paragraph sequence should be what? So answer has come from Subhashis, has said option number 3, that goes with DEBA. Sudeep and Deep are with option number 1. Okay. So I believe it won't be that much difficult to find out the introductory sentence, guys, because one sentence is there which is actually giving you the introduction that what this whole paragraph is going to be about, that goes with China, right? Unless this thing comes into the context, we are not going to frame, or we are not going to use the later sentences into the paragraph, guys. So the first sentence should be B, right? Okay, Jay has said option 2, others said option 1. Fine. Okay, so after China does not allow its citizen to freely access the internet, right? And what was the problem associated with it, right? So can we, with the option B as a starting sentence, we have two alternatives, right? That goes with either option 1 or option 2. Now after B, if you see, either statement A will follow or D will follow. Now we'll see whether this is going to be A or D, guys, right? So if we read B again, China does not allow its citizen to freely access the internet. After this, if we are going to use A, we do not know if it was a good decision to ban it, okay? And D says the government there feels it is used to spread a negative propaganda. So you got to know B is highlighting the problem, right? It does not allow. It has given a description. Now, why it doesn't allow has been explained in A or D. It has been explained in D, and A is actually the consequence, right? Because government has already banned it, and they are expecting whether it was a good decision or not. So actually this whole sequence will go in this way, that goes with option number 2. And after D, if you read, it says the government there feels it is used to spread a negative propaganda and causes people to lose faith in the administration, because people are losing faith, because people are getting a negative propaganda, and as a result they are losing faith in the administration. That's why what they did, they decided to ban it as a consequence, guys. So sentence number C is falling out of the context, that is should be people should voice their concern at times. Actually all these 4 sentences we are talking from whose perspective? Government's perspective. That is the only sentence which is talking from the perspective of people. That's why we need to make that sentence out of the context as of now. I believe this question would be fine with all of you guys, and the answer for question number 1 goes with option number 2, that is B, D, E, A. Okay, we can have the next question on your screen, guys. Okay, Ankur said option 2. Yes, Ankur, you were right. It's okay, Sudha, you can start with the next question. So the next question is in the format of double fillers, guys. Okay, Sudeep has come up with an answer of option number 5. That goes with stunned and impeccable. Understand the context, guys. I think that would give you a clue that what word should give it direction to this sentence, guys. Amit says option number 2, that is enlightened and precise. Okay. Ankur says option 5 again, stunned and impeccable. Adarsh option 2, fine. Okay, so the coming response, mixed response is coming from option number 2 and 5. Okay. Shri Ram says 5, Shekhar says 5, Sudha and Deep are with option number 5. Okay. So if we read out the sentence, guys, it is going in this way that Miss World 2017 Manushi Chiller always knows how to blank everybody with her blank fashion sense, and she did it again, right? As soon as you hear the word Miss World 2017, the next thing or the words which is synonymous to this title goes with beauty, right? It goes with beauty, it goes with flawlessness and a very good sense of being into the trend, being into the vogue, being into the fashion, right? So as soon as this thing will come into your mind, the sentence should be using the words which is actually revolving around beauty, having a good charm and having a good sense of being into the fashion and trend, right? So I think option number 1 can be ruled out because both the words are dealing with negative one. Confused, I believe everybody know, and blemish is something a lot of spots onto it and something which is not treated good, right? Second goes with enlightened and precise. Enlighten is you are spreading some info about something, right? Or you want people to follow that. So you are spreading that knowledge. Precise is factually correct, isn't it? Third option goes with interdict and fleckless, right? Interdict goes with something which prohibits, which bans, okay? And then your fleckless goes with weak, okay? Something which is not strong. Again, this pair of word is again dealing with a negative aspect, so we need to rule this out. Fourth one goes with vitiate and sinless. Vitiate goes with something again spoiling or destroy. And sinless if somebody is very innocent or doesn't have any cunning thought into his or her mind, okay? So sinless is in the second blank. If you see, it is talking about fashion sense. So somebody's fashion sense cannot be innocent, right? So that is something going out of the context. Option number 4 gives you the words as stun and impeccable. Stun is something you get stunned by something, you get shocked, you get surprised, but in a good way, right? And impeccable is something flawless. That means it doesn't contain any error and it is almost close to perfect, you can say. So we have two options, guys. Either option 2 or 5 we need to put into this blank. Now, first blank, if you see, Miss World 2017 Manushi Chiller always knows how to enlighten everybody or how to stun everybody. Because you cannot enlighten with your fashion sense and the way you carry. You always stun somebody or you surprise somebody, right? Even though you are not able to get onto the first blank, let's move on to the second blank. It goes in. Everybody with her, what fashion sense? Precise fashion sense or impeccable fashion sense? Precise goes with something when we are dealing with facts, isn't it? But sense is something abstract idea which we cannot touch, which we cannot see, which we can feel it, right? So the right answer for this question is actually going with option number 5. That should be stunning everybody. That means you are making everybody surprised with something. And impeccable goes with flawless and perfect fashion sense. So all of the guys who were giving option number 5 as your answer, all of you were right. So I believe this question would be okay with you. Moving on to the next question is there on your screen. Okay, Shriram, if that is okay with you, you can attempt the next question. Read the direction again, guys, because the questions are coming from a varied pattern. Some odd 4 sentences have been provided to you guys. You need to connect those 2 sentences or more than 2 sentences if you can, but with the help of a connector which is highlighted over there, that is because. Just to frame a coherent meaning of those 2 sentences, right? The combination should be correct. So you need to understand because is used in the sense of due to, and you are highlighting a reason for something. Sudeep has given answer as option 5, that is AD. Okay. Okay, Shriram is not sure, maybe 5. It's okay, Shriram, at least you tried. Try keeping any other combination if you can. Jay says option 2, Amit says option 5. Okay. Naveen says option 5, that is AD only, okay. I believe there will not be any confusion in understanding the statements as A, B, C and D. First goes with A, second goes with B, third is C, that is starting with the practice, and D goes with band groups. Ankur says option 5 again. People are biased with option number 5, okay. That means according to you the sentence should go in designating an individual as a terrorist raises serious constitutional questions because band groups tend to change their names and continue to operate. Understand the answer which you are giving, guys. Option A or sentence A is actually dealing with the term constitutional questions, right? So the next sentence which you are making use of, that is option D, is actually explaining the constitutional questions, or is it revolving around constitutional questions context? Sudha says AD, Ankur 2, Shriram AC only, okay. Okay, we'll see this question, guys. It says designating an individual as a terrorist raises serious constitutional questions. With A, you have a lot of pairs if you see, A, B, A, C and AD as well, right? So we'll start with B. Designating an individual as a terrorist raises serious constitutional questions because it has the potential for misuse. Is it making sense? A and B, guys? You are designating an individual as a terrorist because designating that person as a terrorist has potential risks involved into it, right? So A, B can be one of the pair or not. You need to understand. Designating an individual is putting a serious constitutional questions. Why? Because it has the potential for misuse, that's why it is raising question, right? So that goes with A and B, first pair. Now we'll see AC. Designating an individual as a terrorist raises serious constitutional questions because the practice of designating individuals under anti-terrorism laws prevalent in several countries is seen as being necessary. Yes, answers are still coming from AC only. Okay, fine guys. So we have with AC, you are saying the practice of designating individuals under anti-terrorism law. If you see the sentence number C, it is giving you an information about what? A different practice as compared to the statement which is given in A. Now understand, if you are going to make a combination by adding two separate sentences, that means both the sentences should be working towards the same direction. They would be converging onto the same goal at least, right? So we know first sentence is talking about a person being designated as terrorist, one idea. C sentence is talking about designating these individuals, fine, till here we are on the same page, under anti-terrorism law. Now we have come across a new context, guys. Prevalent in several other countries is seen as being necessary. Now with designation, why it is necessary or being necessary is going with context to this law hasn't been mentioned in the previous one, no? If you understand in this way, because the second part which you are going to use as a pair should actually be explaining what? The previous sentence. The new sentence should not be giving you a new idea, guys, right? That's why AC is not a right pair in terms of this question, guys. You need to understand after, because it should explain why A, not a new idea to be presented over there. So AC is not making sense. Again, with the same reason, I would say AD will also not make sense, because again it is giving you a new idea, that is banning groups. There we are talking about individuals. It has started with a new idea that goes with groups. Now, if we see with AB, we have two options, guys. Either of AB only will be the answer, or we need to see or check C and D is making any sense or not. So without looking any other options, we'll directly go on to CD. Now C says, the practice of designating individuals under anti-terrorism laws prevalent in several other countries is seen as being necessary because banned groups tend to change their names and continue to operate. Now you need to see whether CD is making sense or not, guys. We are talking about why anti-terrorism laws is prevalent, because it is resulted in what? Banned groups are changing their names. That's why installing those laws is very much necessary. So why that laws is necessary is being explained in the next sentence. That's why CD is also making sense in this question, guys. So the right answer is option number 1 for this question. I hope this would be clear to you guys. You need to understand the connector first, in what sense you use it. Fine. I hope this question would be clear to you guys. We can move ahead on to the next question that is there in front of your screen, guys. This is the same patterned question but with a new connector, guys. Try to make this question correct, guys. and make use of options. Okay, Prabhuda has come up with the answer as option number 1. Niku says option 1. Sudeep says option 3. Okay. Means at least people would have found A, B as making sense. Okay. Because in both these options you have a common pair, that is AB. Deep says AB. Divesh says option 3, AB and CD. Okay, so the people who are getting answer as AB only, make sure you check option 3 as well, because that option is also containing AB, guys. So there is a probability that could be one of your right answer. Yashoda says option 3. This is very easy, guys. I believe you will be able to land up at the right answer. Okay, Ankur. Aniket says option 3. Great. Okay. So without any delay, let's start with this question, guys. First, we are going to see pair AB, because most of you were giving answer onto the same thing. That goes with, in terms of geographical regions, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand have very high rates of stunting, while states with lowest rates include Kerala and Goa. If I see my statement A is actually giving you the rates of high rates of stunting, but the second part is giving you the lowest rates. So here while is actually establishing what? Contrast. So yes, AB is making sense in this question, right? Yes, AB is making a right combination, because it is putting a contrast between these sentences. Now we are going to check option CD as well now. C says nutrition has improved across all states, while D says interstate variabilities remain extremely high. That means again we have given a contrast, or contrast in terms of the topic which we are talking about, because C is talking about had improved across all states. Fine. That means it must be following a uniform paragraph or uniform chart or a uniform rate, right? But the D sentence is talking about something being extremely high. That means something would not be in the uniform nature, because we're talking about on an extreme end. So again CD is also following the same pattern of highlighting a contrast between two sentences, right? So yes, guys, option number 3 is the right answer for this question. So most of you would have already given this as a right answer, guys. Great going. Yes, Prabhuda, CD pair is also correct. So I hope this question would be okay with all of you. Moving ahead, the next question is right there in front of you, guys. Read the direction carefully again, guys. That's why I said, Sudha, if you have got one probable answer, do not jump onto the answer, rather go glance once the other options which is there. This might be a probability that other option can also be a right one. Okay, Tejkant has given the answer for this question that goes with option 3, that is only 2. Okay. Divesh says third, again only 2. Sudeep says option 2, Deep says 2, Supriya 1, Jay says option 2, Prabhuda says option 3. Okay. So I hope you would have understood it, what you need to do in this type of a question. This is a sentence connector. If you see in the question, we have given 2 sentences that goes with she wanted to impress her family with her culinary skills. And second says, unfortunately, the pie she made turned out to be a disaster. You need to appropriately link these 2 sentences together to frame one coherent sentence, right? Now, in order to combine these 2 statements, you have 3 options given. Now, which one is the best suited one to make that pair, guys? You need to find out that option. Okay. If we are going with option 1, let's say we'll see one by one each and every option, guys. Option 1 says only 1. That means wanting to impress her family, she made a pie which turned out to be a disaster. Let's say, can we make a sentence in this way? She wanting to impress her family, and the rest part of the sentence will follow. Fine. Second goes with, unfortunately, the pie made by her turned out to be a disaster. But after that, what part of the sentence will come in? We need some connector again in order to frame a sentence, guys. Understand this. When we are using that part which is provided in the option, that means you are already using it as a connector. Means you don't need to require any other word or a phrase to act a connector again. So if I am going with option 2, that goes with unfortunately the pie made by her turned out to be a disaster. Let's say till here. After that, can I directly use she wanted to impress her family with her culinary skills? Don't you think after disaster we need or require one more connective again? Now, option 3 will see, impressing her family. Understand the sentence which is given in the question, guys. She has already impressed or she wanted to. That means the effort which she was taking in to make that pie, she wanted to impress. We don't know she has already impressed, or the action of impressing is going in a continuous one, or it has already started, right? So if we are going with option number 3, it is actually distorting the meaning of the sentence, guys, because third is talking about impressing her family with her culinary skills. That means she has started impressing. But sentence 1 is talking about she wanted to impress, guys. So option 3 first of all will go out from this question. Option 2 will also go out of this question because it needs again a connector, and if you actually see, they haven't used any connector in order to connect these 2 sentences. They have written the same part of the sentence as it is in the option, guys. So it must be option number 1 that should go in wanting to impress her, and the part will go till her family, right? she made a pie which turned out to be a disaster. Which turned out to be a disaster, guys. So actually this whole phrase is acting as a connector in this, and she wanting to, right? As we can see, the sentence started with wanting. That means she hasn't started it and the process is not in the continuation mode, guys, right? So the right answer for this question goes with option 1, that is only 1, guys. I hope this would be clear to all of you. For this question, the right option goes with option 1, and the sentence is wanting to impress her family, she made a pie which turned out to be a disaster. Or even though you didn't use which, again it will make a sense. So no need to use which if you don't want to, guys. I believe this is fine, guys. Option 1, only 1 is the right answer for this question. So moving on to the next question that is there on your screen, guys. Yes, Tejkant, which it is previous answer. Which question you are talking about? Option 1 or the only 1 is the answer for the question we were talking about with the culinary skills and sentence connector. Read the direction, guys. Sentence improvement type of a question it is, but concerning with phrasal verbs, guys. That will help you to attempt this question. Yes, answers started coming. Only B. Bimal says only B. Supriya B. Prabhuda B. Divesh 2. Amit 2. Rahul 2. Jay 2. Shiva, we have already done an RC, one session on RC. Okay. So this sentence is the files, okay? Okay, there might be the files, right, are always backed away on dual engine servers that are perpetually on optimum power save mode. That means the sentence is actually talking about to keep a copy of something in order, for example, if your system is going on a power save mode, so it's better to keep a backup of your files, right? So that goes in, the sentence is going in that direction, I believe. All of you are on the same page? Okay. So if we see on a broader way, we have these 4 phrasal verbs being used in this question with the word back, right? Now when I say back away, that means you are withdrawing yourself from some position, right? You're moving back. That goes with the meaning of back away. Second goes with back off. Again, that means you're drawing yourself from an action, right? You said that tomorrow I'll take this position as an author of one particular book, let's say. But tomorrow you didn't go there and join that position. You didn't join there as an author. That means you backed off from it, right? So you wanted to move away from the option or the offer being made to you. Third goes with backup. Backup is a very frequently used word or a phrase, I believe. That goes with backup means in a meaning of a support, right? That somebody is giving you a support from behind, that goes with a backup. Back down is submit something or reconsider, right? When you are thinking of whether my steps are right or wrong and you're rethinking onto it, that goes with back down. So I believe most of you have already given the right answer for this question. That goes with option number 2, that is back up. That means you are trying to make a copy of something in order to use it later, right? That can act as a support, right? You would have also used this in terms of your day-to-day language. For example, why do you keep a backup of your files on your computer, or why you keep your data from phone in your drive or in cloud, right? So that you can have a backup of all these data, maybe when your phone gets stolen or your phone gets formatted, right? So it's the same uses, guys. Here also you are making a backup of files so that these servers are perpetually on the optimum power save mode, so that in order to avoid the loss that there can be any. I hope this question will be fine with all of you guys. We can move ahead on to the next question that is there on your screen. Again, a similar pattern question, guys. Dealing with phrasal verbs only. And this is an easy one. I expect a right answer from all of you guys. Here the phrasal verb is actually dealing with rely, and rely means depend. Vishal has come up with an answer with no improvement. Supriya says option B. Deep 5, Sudeep 5. Tejkan says only A, okay. Prabhuda says no improvement. Great. Okay, Amit says 5, Sudha 5, Jay 5, Supriya no improvement, Rahul 5. Bimal says only A, option 4, okay. Fine. We'll read this sentence, guys. At Talent Acquisition HR, that goes with human resources, we rely on the dynamic personalities and assertive nature of our employees to make the business a grand success. That means that can act as an important factor to you, right? Or the talent acquisition HR. So they are actually dependent on whom? Dynamic personalities, right? So you need to make sure the word which you are going to fill in should convey the idea of depending on, or that is attributing as an important factor in finding a dynamic personality, right, guys? And if you are having a thorough knowledge of phrasal verbs, and if you do not get confused with the options provided with the rely, that goes with rely over, rely up with, rely into, all these are wrong phrasal verbs, guys. There's only one with rely, that is on, that means depend. So that's why I said this is a very easy question, because you don't need to get confused with the other options, because all are wrong uses, all are not even a phrasal verb, guys, right? So the right answer is no improvement, that goes with option 5. The sentence is very right in a way it is provided to you. So great going, guys. A lot of you were right for this question. So I believe this is it for our today's session. I believe this whole set of practice questions would have given you a deep insight of what kind of questions you can expect, and these are actually act as a building block, right? So don't only limit yourself to the questions which we are discussing, guys. For example, we saw rely on in the last question, guys. So we know with rely that we can use preposition on. Now from your end, the next step what you can take for such kind of question is you can search any other preposition will make sense as a phrasal verb with rely or not, right? And the previous question to that, we saw one phrasal verb with back, right? Now you need to go and check that what are the other phrasal verbs that can be made out of this word, right? So you will be having a comprehensive list which will be dealing with, or your one word at a time will get sorted, guys, right? So I hope you are ready for the next steps, guys. These were the questions which has actually given you a brushing up of your concepts as well as the way towards which you need to take your preparation to. So till the time we meet again in our next class, in our next session, keep practicing, guys, keep learning, and a very happy learning to all of you. Thank you.